Hello and welcome to our latest property market update. Today we'll be unpacking everything that's going on in the market for lettings properties across Edinburgh and the Lothians. I'm joined by Caroline and Christian, who are two team managers within Omega, who work within both our new business and lettings teams, so they're speaking to our landlords every single day. Let's get started. Christian, if we were to start with the bigger picture, what are we seeing in lettings today?
I think the market has been challenging for not just private landlords but also portfolio landlords.
Yeah.
What we have seen on the market is a big unpredictability. The market keeps shifting all the time. The demand is increasing on very nice properties that are well looked after. There's been a lot of different changes in the legislation for last couple of months, but also last couple of years. A lot of landlords had to adapt to constantly changing lettings landscape.
So are we starting to see demand increasing across April and May, or as we head towards April and May?
Yeah, actually we see very early signs of the market moving a bit faster. Usually what we've seen for last 3 years, the market is moving much faster across April and May time. There is a big misconception actually that people think July and August are the busiest months. What we've seen in our statistics for last 3 years was that the market is actually the busiest in May up to the June time.
Mm-hmm. So if things are starting to increase and demand is starting to increase in April and May, what does that mean for landlords that are thinking about getting their properties on the market?
It couldn't actually be a better time than hit the market with their property than now. We've had a lot of landlords onboarded with the hope of moving fast and putting their property on the market, minimizing the time to let, and most importantly the void period on the property. There are a lot of costs that landlords are concerned about, and we're trying to navigate within that landscape. However, being positive, now is the very good time to put your property on the market. We see a lot of demand from many tenants. It's caused by different factors. You would have your students starting looking for flats in the Edinburgh city centre, but also you've got professionals changing jobs, moving to town. A lot of families considering moving across the town as well.
What would you suggest that a landlord does to make sure that their property performs well in that space when it does come to the market?
So what has changed on the market when we compare the market this year versus last couple of years is there are a lot of properties on the market, but I wouldn't want to scare the landlords off and discourage them from putting their own property on the market. There are a lot of properties that had previously been rented out as short-term lettings, and these properties look very good. They are beautiful, they've got
freshly painted, good condition carpets, nice condition furniture, that kind of thing.
Exactly, and they're just visually pleasing flats, So as you and me, if we are looking for the flat, this is what we would want to see as well. So what we really want to do here is make those improvements to make the property ready for the tenants from the day one. We want to minimize the cost of further repairs at the property and maintenance time and costs and stress associated for both the tenants and the landlord as well. If you can improve your property now, this is the great time because you almost have this reassurance that the property will not take long to let in April and May time, looking at the statistics from last couple of years.
And we tend to see longer tenancies, don't we? If the tenants move in and the property is well maintained and it's in a good condition, then they tend to stay for a bit longer, don't they?
Yeah, we've seen that across our portfolio. We're managing over 1,600 properties, so we've got a really great overview of how properties perform. I would say our kind of average tenancy can be 2 to 3 years, which is quite in line with the market and other agents. However, we've had a lot of longer tenancies as well. That brings peace of mind to the landlord. They can, relax, and they know that they have great tenants. When the property is actually looked after and being brought to the tenants as like a very nice product, you have almost a better reassurance that these tenants will also look after that property.
Yeah, absolutely. I think getting it ready now gives so much opportunity both for longer tenancies and for getting it marketed and rented straight away.
Yes. This is the most important thing. You want to compare your listing against other listings in the area as well.
Yeah.
And we've seen that in Edinburgh over and over. Caroline will probably back me up on that. It's so hard to do the right valuation in Edinburgh because you'll have such a wide variety and range of properties on one street that come from 900 to 1500,
Yeah.
And the condition sets them apart.
Exactly.
Absolutely. It's so important.
And Caroline, from a new business and pitch perspective, what are the main reasons that landlords are looking to rent out their properties at the moment?
I think there's a number of different reasons depending on, the landlord's personal circumstances. I think what we're seeing consistently is people moving from a short-term lets. It's not sort of the same viable option as it was in previous years. It's costly, and it's also, I think, it creates a level of anxiety for the owner around trying to keep the property compliant. Yes. And the good thing about going with an agent like ourselves is that we can handle all of the legwork around that and the landlord's peace of mind to ensure that it is, it does remain compliant. Mm-hmm. I think also leaving a property empty is no longer a low-cost option with the changes in council tax. So it's so important for owners to look at their options. We can give them realistic and informed advice and see what's their best next step and get the property ready, as Christian said, and ensure that it's in a really good condition.
Yeah. One of the things we talk about a lot in the office is whether it's the right time to sell or the right time to let. Is that something that you're hearing from owners and landlords as you're out and about in the market?
Absolutely. I think that's a consistent question that we get. People are still exploring their options. They're almost in that discovery stage where they're looking for informed advice, market-led data. And we would never push somebody to sell or rent. We're just there to give them the best advice and give them honest advice. For some people, it is a better decision keeping an investment in Edinburgh and continuing to rent that. And we look at a number of factors, from yield to the maintenance costs that have come from the property in the last sort of 12 months, and then we can inform them. And sometimes it is the best time to sell as well. But there's not a one-size-fits-all approach, and we will tailor that according to the property and the owner.
And one of the things Christian talked a little bit about, and that we have definitely been hearing about across the media and in the office, is around compliance. And I think we're seeing quite a lot of self-managing landlords feeling somewhat under pressure because of that kind of thing. Is that something that you guys are seeing?
There's so much to keep on top of, legislation, and it can be quite overwhelming for a self-managing landlord that has their day job, their families. We all lead busy lives, and I think it's quite difficult to keep on top of. They want to ensure that the property is compliant for the tenants. So I think a lot of self-managing switchers are coming to us to ask for advice. We have a number of options, from a fully managed service and let-only options, and some people do start off with coming to sort of look at our let-only options, and you find very quickly change to the fully managed option, just because we can take away that stress. They can be as hands-on or hands-off as they like, but we will ensure that the property remains compliant. Our dedicated compliance team obviously looks after that and ensures that the certificates are booked in before they even expire. So there's no risk of those going out of date. And at least we're also up to date with the legislation, and they can continuously update landlords on the sort of ever-changing, as we know, updates go out and they change the following week. So we're in a good position to keep people updated on that.
Yeah, it allows landlords to get on with the rest of their lives, doesn't it? Because it's a lot of work to own a property and to look after it yourself. You never know when that next phone call from your tenants is coming, so it's a chance for them to get on with their lives because they've got us holding the property safe for them.
And also having, when you do get that call, having trusted contractors that you can send to then do the work. We've heard of horror stories where people have paid thousands of pounds and the work hasn't been done to a satisfactory standard. At least they know with us that, again, that peace of mind and confidence in the contractors that we've worked with for years, that they're going to do a good job.
Trusted.
Absolutely.
So if somebody was watching right now and they were thinking about renting out their property, what is the advice that you would give them?
Get in touch with us sooner than later. Let us prepare your property to hit the market as soon as possible. Let's take advantage of this busy season, We'll have a variety of applicants. You can achieve potentially higher rent than in other months throughout the year. This is the right time. Let's prepare your property. We can put it on the market as soon as we can, have all the certificates ready and everything in place for the next tenants.
Yeah. And for relet landlords, Just listen to your property manager, get repairs done as required, try and get the property as ready as possible before your tenants hand their notice in.
I think that's been the biggest shift we've observed as well, kind of shift of mentality of landlords and property managers as well. What we want to be is more proactive rather than reactive. So what it means is prepare the property while the tenants are still in place. Do as many small repairs as you can with perhaps like a pre-checkout inspection. Make sure when the property hits the market, we're gonna maximize opportunities to rent when it hits the market, when it's there and when people go and see it.
Thank you so much for joining us. If you've got a property that you're interested in getting on the market, get in touch with Caroline and her team today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.